All right, everyone, Joe here, and in today's video, we're going to go over what to offer and how to price it. So we're going to talk about what your offerings could be as an online fitness coach and how to price your offerings, one, so that people are actually going to buy it, but two, just so you don't undervalue what you're giving. I see all too often people, want to do good by everyone and coach and train them and offer all these services and then completely undervalue them. We're going to talk about why that's important to not do in a little bit. So a few things we're going to cover in this video here is what's in it for them. That's the WIIFT. Types of services that you could provide, how to deliver them, and then how to price your offering. And I'm going to go through an example as well to kind of spell this out for you and how to do it. And at the end, we're going to talk about your greatest investment and what you should be investing in on a consistent basis. Now, this is the fourth video in the series I've been doing. If you haven't yet, go back and watch the first three because everyone's going to build on the one before it. So obviously the intro video, I'm going over sort of what we're doing with this, why I'm doing it, and all that. I've got the second video is on mindset, which is probably the most important one out of the entire series. You want to make sure go back and watch that, if not 2 or 3 times, and try the stuff I talk about in there because it's really going to help, especially with this when it comes to pricing, because it can be very tough. If it's a tough pill to swallow for you on the price you're putting on your services, then it's probably gonna be that much harder for someone who doesn't know you. So I would go back and watch the series and then catch up and then hop in for this one. So let's get into it. So first things first, what's in it for them? So what are you looking to offer people? If you went back and watched the video I did on how to find your niche, you would have seen that we talked about your sub-market and then your niche and what you're going to be doing to help them and how you should be laser focused in on one thing. You don't want to try and help them do everything all at once. It's going to overwhelm them for sure and probably overwhelm you as well. And you don't really want to be a jack of all trades. We want you to be a master of the one thing you're trying to do. So what are you looking to offer these people? It could be, custom workouts. It could be nutrition coaching. It could just be accountability, like lifestyle type coaching. Like, hey, just making sure you're being that person who's staying on top of them while they're trying to get this stuff done. And then the value stack, right? We're going to go into this with our example of sort of what you're offering and how you stack those things all together. But it doesn't have to just be workouts. It could also be things like, hey, we're going to offer unlimited text messaging support to you, or email support, or we're going to do a video call once a week, or anything you can do. What I want you to do is take a minute, you can pause the video, and I want you to write down everything you could possibly offer somebody as an online trainer. It could be anything that you realistically, we'll talk about the bottom, realistically and scalable. I want you to write down everything you could possibly offer somebody, just so you can get a sense of what you could possibly handle. And some of it might even sound ridiculous, like, oh, I could, mail them a free t-shirt. I could do anything you could possibly think of. Just write it down, make the list, and put all your ideas down on paper. And what I want you to do is start to circle the ones that you think, like I have at the bottom here, what's realistic and scalable. Circle the things that you find that you realistically could deliver, and you find that you would enjoy delivering to people. Because if you're not enjoying doing it and you don't feel like catching up with people and actually making it work, then it's not going to be worth it. You're just going to get, kind of fall out of touch with it, out of love with it, and just kind of let it wash out. We don't want that to happen. You, by watching these videos, you have a message to put out, and you have a service to provide people, and you can help people, and you need to be delivering what you're doing, and that's for sure. And so anything you can do to help folks out there is a big deal, and you should be doing it in a way where it helps them, they're excited, and you are also excited by helping them perpetuate their success. So you want to circle the things that you can offer that are realistic. So run one realistic, can you actually do them? Right? If it's like, oh, they're online clients and I'm gonna go to their house once a week and help them, do whatever. It's like, well, if you're in New York and they're in Idaho, that's just not gonna happen. So it's not realistic. And also too is, what is scalable, right? Can you do this for 5, 10, 20, 100 clients? And it depends on what you want to offer. So if you're offering a very high ticket service and it's going to obviously be maybe a little more expensive for the client, but it's really, high touch, white glove type service, you might only need to be able to scale it to 10 people. I know some trainers that are online right now that literally keep a circle of maybe 10 clients and they're making 6 figures a year. So it really depends on what you want to do, where you want to go with it. But you want to have some stuff in place so that if you have people that are interested, you're not turning them away because you can't handle it and you're just sort of overwhelmed. So figure out the services that you can provide that are going to be realistic so you can actually do them, and that you can scale beyond just one person or a handful of people. So let's get into the types of services. What can you possibly offer somebody? So these are just some examples I have here. You could rack your brain and go crazy with it. You can Google the hell out of this and figure it out. But here are some ideas. So one-time consultations, they're fine. It's one of those things where you basically sit down with somebody. Obviously it could be like a video call, video chat, and help them out. And this is something I offer through my website. It's like an upsell. It's not really out in the open. It's kind of more hidden. Like when people purchase things, they can hop on a one-time 1-hour coaching call with me as like an upsell, and we just sit there and we hop on a video call and I talk them through what they're looking to achieve and kind of give them an outline and really just kind of give them all my best information in that 1-hour call, so they feel like they've gotten a ton of value, right? What's in it for them. So one-time consultations are fine, but the thing is they're one time. So if that's all you want to offer, then you're going to be fishing for clients left and right, and hopefully you've got a big influx of people if that's your approach. The next, and what I like the best, is subscription models and packages. So typically when I work with clients, this is a 12-week package that they're going to have, and they're tied in for 12 weeks. It's in my waiver that I give to them. They click a little box checking, understanding that, hey, this is a 12-week program and that's the duration. So typically I'll have clients that start with 12 weeks, and then if they're like, if they've been around for a while with me and they want to just do month to month, that's fine. But the thing is with the subscriptions, it's nice because for you, it's kind of incoming money every month. It's just recurring. And you can set that up with, maybe it's a subscription, they're billed monthly, or even packages. So while mine is kind of subscription based, most people opt to pay the entire 12 weeks up front. And you can even offer them a discount. Say, hey, if you're going to pay me over the course of 3 months or 6 months or whatever you're offering, that's great. But if you pay it all up front, I'll take 10% off or 5% off, something like that. It's a nice little bit of cash flow up front for you. So something you want to keep in mind. But like I said, subscription models I think are the best way to go, just because it's recurring. Month to month, obviously this is something you could say, hey, I'm going to work with you for a month and then we'll see how the month goes and yada yada. That's fine too. But the big thing is here is, as a trainer, and you know this better than anybody, is you're not going to get a whole lot of results for somebody in just a month. Short of starving them, there's really nothing you can do that's going to make a drastic change in their life, which is why I like to stick with the subscriptions and packages and begin with a minimum of 12 weeks, so 3 months, to help them get some sort of results and they can see the program's working, right? I can prove to them, hey, what we do works. It gives me time to figure them out, figure out their lifestyle, their habits, what they like to do, what they don't like to do, which is probably even more important, and then help them build a lifestyle that way. And then last little bit here are add-ons and upsells. So you're going to have a core package, a core offering that you have, and this could be custom workouts that you write for them. It could be custom nutrition coaching that you do for them. And then you want to have, I'm going to do a whole video on this too, like your value ladder and how you set all this up, but you want to have some things on the side that are sort of add-ons and upsells. So in the context of this video today, it might be, hey, I offer 12 weeks of custom workouts that you can do at home. Maybe they're just body weight workouts, whatever, to help you lose weight. And it costs X amount for the 12 weeks. And if you want to add on, unlimited text message support or unlimited phone support, like, hey, you can get on a call with me any day or whatever, that's an additional X dollars per week or something like that. So stuff you want to keep in mind, and I'm going to do this in the example and start to show you how you can value out your stuff and price your stuff accordingly. So one, you are not undercutting yourself, and you're being able to show there's value involved. But two, it also gives you some leverage, right? If somebody's really excited, they want to sign up, and you have a couple other things in your pocket to say, hey, I know you're really excited and you want to get going. How about we add on this thing? It's really going to help X. Or if you have a client that has particular trouble with something, you can say, hey, I actually have this other thing that's going to help you out. It's really going to start to nail down this piece you're having trouble with. Let's add that on for a month and see how it goes. So it kind of gives you some flexibility, and shows that you've got more to offer, but still within the context of your niche. So next is how to deliver your services. So this one is a biggie for sure. And I've worked with plenty of coaches like as an athlete. And I've had some have had really great platforms that they've worked with me on. And I've had some that were like really shitty. I've even had coaches send me a different client's Excel file for the workouts for the week with the other person's name on it. So first things first with this when it comes to delivering your services is perception is reality. For sure. I mean, if you walked into the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, as soon as you walk in the lobby, you know, hey, this is a high-ticket hotel. This is, 5-star, really, or 4-star, whatever, really nice. I'm going to be treated like royalty here. Versus if you walk into a Motel 8, you know what you're paying for. You know why that room is $67 for the night. So when it comes to your services, perception is reality. So if you're, obviously how you talk to people and all that is going to matter, but what platform are you using to deliver your services on is going to make a big deal. Now, if you're just starting out, you don't need, you don't need to have, the top software and all that kind of stuff. And I'll get into what I use in a second. You could just use Google Drive. That's totally fine. But you want to make sure it's set up in a way where it looks nice, it looks polished. A way to do this if you're not sure what to do, you're like, hey, I'm not really artistic, I don't really know how to make this thing look good, go to Fiverr.com, or I think it's Upwork.com, Freelancer. They have all kinds of websites like that where you literally can pay somebody $10 and they'll make sure your spreadsheet looks super nice or your PDF looks super nice, and it's a template, it's one time, so you can pay for that one time and then just copy and paste, fill in the workout stuff for your new clients and send it off on its way, and it looks nice, it looks professional. I would say too, you could use the same websites, and I did this as well, to have logos made or do some branding and stuff. It's really cheap. For $50 you could basically outfit yourself with all the branding you'd ever need, like a logo and everything, just to slap on your stuff, kind of give it your stamp and make it look legit, make it look like you actually care about the services you're providing. You're not some dude, just plugging away in a spreadsheet. You actually put some time and effort into this. So I would say perception is reality. And if you're in doubt, you're like, oh, well, they really care, the answer is probably yes. And you should do something about it for sure. So online platforms, I have a bit of a biased opinion on this because I've been using TrueCoach. Used to be Fitbot, but I've been using TrueCoach for a little while now. I love it. I think it is fantastic. I use it for both workouts I write for clients and nutrition coaching as well. So I kind of morph the workouts into like a food log. But it's a fantastic platform. I'll have a link down in the description so you guys can check it out for yourself. It is an affiliate link, but if you sign up, you get $50 off as well, and I get $50 off. So it's pretty cool, kind of people helping people. But as far as TrueCoach goes, I think it's super easy to use. They have a full movement library. So any movement that you plug in for workouts, there's already a YouTube video associated with it. It's real kind of dummy proof, and it corresponds with the client app that your clients would have, where they can get their workouts fresh. It's all right there. There's messaging within the app. It just makes life super easy, and quite honestly, it's not that expensive, really. I think it's maybe $400 for the year or something like that for up to maybe 30 clients. So if you're just starting out, it might sound like a lot of money, but in reality, you can do a monthly payment, I think, with them to spread it out a little bit and get you rolling. And you know what? If you use it for a couple months and you don't like it, just cancel it. Not a big deal. But if you're strapped for cash and you have nothing to start with, then using things like Google Drive is fantastic. This is what I used when I first started out. I would make a folder for each client. In that folder would be their spreadsheet, whatever they had going on, and then any PDF files I had made for them. Now, I would recommend, if you're going to use Google Drive, make sure that when you share stuff with your people, if it's a written document, I would do it in PDF form so they're not in there editing it. You can do view only, but I would make sure that it is set up so they're not in there editing and changing things around. You really don't want that happening for their experience. It just make it a little more professional, like, hey, this is what it is, and so on. But the spreadsheets are great because they can hop in and plug in their results, and you can sort of see where they're going with things. And then you also want to think about support, right? So how are you going to be supporting these people once you deliver their services, right? So if it is something like TrueCoach, it's fantastic because all the messaging is right there in the app, so it's not like a big deal. You kind of have it in one spot. I like it just because I don't have my communications all spread out all over the place with clients, right? I have all the workouts, all the messaging, all the feedback, all their videos of them lifting and whatever is all just in one spot. If I want to shut it down for the night and not get notifications, I can just turn it off. It's not a big deal. But if you're not going to be doing that to begin with and using something like Google Drive, you want to make sure that you're adding on some sort of support service. I mean, the big thing is these people are remote, right? They're not with you physically. So you want to have some sort of lifeline there. One, so you can kind of keep that touch point, but also two, it provides extra value, right, to what you're giving them. So versus giving them that sort of like one-time consultation, a one-off workout plan, this helps you kind of keep the value going as you're working together. So consider what is going to be more valuable to them and to you. If it's a phone call, if it's text message, if it's email. I mean, I've made the mistake in the past of just letting people have an unlimited amount of time with me. Some clients you never hear from, but then there's the X percentage of clients who you get that one who just won't go away. And you can't get them to just sort of like chill out and just do the plan. They'll call you day and night and ask all kinds of questions. So you need a way to limit how people get a hold of you. And I would say, is what you do is you could say, hey, if you want, we can add on one weekly check-in call or a bi-weekly check-in call. Or say, hey, we're gonna do unlimited text message support if you're cool with texting and you're good at getting back to people. That's a big one too. If you're not already good at getting back to people, if you are that guy who doesn't respond to your friends text message, right, and they just are like, hey man, where you been, then maybe don't do text support, right? You should do things like email, or it's probably expected to be a little bit more lapse time. But regardless, whatever you go with, I mean, these people are paying you to serve them, and I would try your best to get back to them as soon as possible. So just some thoughts there as well. Now, how do you price your services? This is probably why you're watching this video in the first place, and it is very important that we make sure, number one, you don't undervalue what you're doing. And it's a little counterintuitive. You think, oh, well, I'm just going to be the cheapest guy out there, and then everyone will want to buy me because they're cheap. Not the case. You don't want to go into the market just saying, oh, I'm going to just do $5 for my thing, because guess what? There's a lot of free shit out there too, and that's going to beat you every time. Nothing beats free, except if you can be, like we talked about in the earlier videos, you're in your niche, it's very specific, right? You're a specialist, and because of that, it can be more high ticket. You're providing more value. So this is where our second video, the mindset video, that self-esteem piece really plays into this. Don't undervalue what you're doing. At the end of the day, if you have 20 clients and they're only paying you, $50 a month, and you're like, shit, this is a lot of work and it's not worth the money, you're gonna burn out and not want to do it. If you had 20 clients and they're each paying you $1,000 a month and you're providing a great service and you're making a bunch of money in return for what you're doing, then it's all good. And I would follow up with this is it's okay to get paid for what you're doing. You're not a scumbag because you're charging money to coach people. You're providing a service. It's just like anything else. If somebody was going to go to get their car fixed or go to the dentist or whatever, you pay in exchange for that. And so it's no different in what you're providing these people. Yes, it is more of a luxury service than anything else. People don't need to buy it, but that's on them. If they want it, they'll come buy it. If they don't, they don't, and that's fine. There's over 7 billion people on the planet, so we're not too worried about it. But the big thing is you don't want to undervalue what you're giving. Plus two, like I said before, perception is reality. If people see your price is really cheap, they're going to suspect that what you're offering is really cheap. But if you price your stuff at, $300 a month, $500 a month, for instance, they're going to go, man, what could possibly be worth $500 a month? And they're probably going to want to inspect it a little bit and figure out what the deal is. So I want you to keep that in mind. You also want to make sure you're gauging time and upkeep. So how much of your time is being utilized to this, and what is the cost in terms of time and effort to upkeep your business? So is it something where you're offering almost too much phone support, too much tech support, and you're just glued to your phone all day and you really can't, especially for somebody like myself who's working a couple jobs right now. I have a full-time job I keep, and then I do the coaching on the side. I can't afford in terms of time to have myself glued to my phone all day, every day, nonstop, which is why I make sure I keep things in that True Coach app and sort of divide it that way. But you need to see what that means to you and how much value is associated with that in your mind. Scalability, right? So is your pricing scalable? Is it something where let's say if you were charging a very, very low price and a ton of people signed up, would you be in trouble, right? Is it too much time? Is the time too great compared to what you're actually charging? Where if, let's say, if you charged a higher ticket price for, let's say 5 clients and they're each paying $250 a month, and you move to 10 clients, okay, I only got 10 people, I'm making $2,500 a month. This is good. This is sustainable. So you want to think about that as well. You also want to figure out kind of your cost per customer. You don't have to go super in the weeds, but you should know your numbers, right? So let's say if you were to sign up for like True Coach service, and just for easy numbers, let's say it was $20 a month. I might more than that. I can't remember exactly. It's like 400 something, but let's say it's $40 for the month, and you have one client and you charge them $40 a month. Well, you're just breaking even. So you want to figure out what the cost is for one customer to be signed up with you. Obviously, the more you have, the lower that's going to get. But what is sort of the trade-off with what you're charging versus how much you have to pay in the back end to even have your infrastructure in the first place? And then I want you to ask yourself, what would you pay? What would you pay? And we're going to talk about this at the end, but what would you pay to have the same service that you're offering? If you were looking for this specific service and you came across yourself, quote unquote, on the internet, would you pay the price that you're asking for? And hopefully the answer without hesitation would be yeah, absolutely. But if it's not, then you need to reevaluate what you're offering or what you're pricing, or both. And I would go back and make sure that you do that. So let's go over a quick example. So here's an example. We've got services. This is kind of what I had offered in the past. Like I said, I kind of gravitate more toward nutrition these days, but let's say the service here on the left is a 12-week coaching plan, right? So we've got the duration set up and we know what we're gonna be offering. We're gonna have weekly custom workouts, and so custom being the operative word. I'm not just gonna sign people up and make them do these stock workouts I put together. It's custom to the individual. I'm also gonna be offering nutrition coaching, accountability coaching, and unlimited text message support, so they can text me day and night. Now, for all of this, I'd probably charge a bit more, but this is for the sake of example and easy numbers. This is what I came up with. So let's look at the price breakdown. So for custom workouts, we have $25 per week, so it's $100 a month. When I get into the sales video that I'm going to do eventually, we're going to talk about weekly pricing versus monthly pricing and how you can make this a little more palatable to people and kind of, I don't want to say trick them, but not sort of drown them in the numbers. Nutrition coaching, we have it $15 a week. Accountability coaching, $10 a week, and text message support, $10 a week. And this all adds up to $240 for the entire month. So if you think about it, like, hey, that's okay. That's a pretty good price to charge someone. Is it expensive compared to some gyms? Yeah, you could go sign up at, Planet Fitness for $10 a month, but are they providing custom workouts for you? Are they providing custom nutrition and accountability and text message support? No. So people are going to have to pay for that. And that's what you need to make sure that you're pricing out when you do your services. So I'd recommend figure out, again, whatever you're going to be offering, like you did earlier in the video. You wrote that whole list, circle the things that are realistic and scalable and what you're actually going to offer, is sort of line item each one and say, okay, what can I realistically look myself doing, and then what would I realistically want to charge for that on a weekly basis, right? So just picture 1 week, if I had 5 clients, I do this with everybody, what would I want to charge to make things, say fair. It needs to be fair for both sides, right? So definitely go back and do that exercise and try and figure that out and just get an idea, just a rough idea. And I'm going to talk about how to get your first client soon. So don't figure like, hey, I don't have anybody, I'm just going to go to charging $240 a month. Like, no one's going to sign up with me. I'm going to show you what to do in the subsequent videos in order to get your first few clients, build some social proof and rapport, and then make sure that people, when they see you, they go, oh man, this guy, people must be paying this price. If they're all paying it, then I'll pay it too. Okay. And lastly, I want to talk about your greatest investment. So if you've been watching these videos up to this point and you're thinking, hey, I'm just going to start this business, it's going to be awesome, and that's great, but I want to ask you, do you spend money on coaches and courses? Are you investing in yourself? Because that is the greatest investment you could make. I mean, I did ask earlier, would you buy your own offer? Hopefully the answer was a yes immediately. And if it isn't, you need to go back and reevaluate what you're offering and how you're pricing it. But if you are somebody who just thinks you're going to build it and they're going to come, it's not going to happen. Like, you need to put into the universe, what you want to get out. And if you yourself are not going out and investing in you in terms of, it could be certifications, courses, learning from other coaches, even just books, then you can't really expect anybody to come invest their money with you either, because you're not doing it for yourself. So I do spend a good amount of money myself every year. Just last year I was out so I live on the East Coast. I was out in Los Angeles working with a couple coaches that are highly respected in the industry. They're some of the best in the world. And I paid, no joke, probably close to $6,000 just to be there for a week. And that's counting travel and food, but the majority of it was to pay them to be there. And so, yeah, that's a lot of money, but what I took from the experience and the connections I made and, a lot of the social proof and stuff that came with it has helped my business a ton in terms of building my credibility and building my knowledge and all that kind of stuff. So you can't be afraid to spend your time and your money and your effort, and then expect people to do it, on what you're offering. So I would say if the first thing you're going to do is spend money on you, invest in yourself, to become the coach that you want to be and provide the service that you want to offer. So that kind of wraps up the video for today. Hopefully you learned a bunch from this. Go back, watch it again, do the little exercises I talked about. And if you liked it, hit the like button below, comment with anything you want to see me cover, and make sure you subscribe so you never miss a video. And looking forward to seeing you on the next one.